From the rain-slicked streets of Salford to the sun-drenched coasts of Spain, our story today follows a man whose life has been a relentless pursuit of ill-gotten gains, Lee Tansey. A name synonymous with armed robbery, a figure who has spent years both behind bars and on the run. Lee Tansey isn't just a petty criminal, he's a career armed robber, known for his involvement in some of the most audacious bank and jewelry store heists in northern England. His criminal career stretches back years, marked by violence, meticulous planning, and a chilling disregard for the safety of others. Let's rewind to 2008 and 2009. Tansey was a key player in a gang that terrorized banks across West Yorkshire and Lancashire. Imagine the scene: a quiet Lloyd's TSB in Darwin, then an HSBC in Huddersfield, suddenly shattered by the sound of smashing glass and the sight of masked figures wielding machetes and sledgehammers. These weren't smash-and-grab amateurs. They were organized, ruthless. In one particularly telling moment, during the Darwin raid, Tansey injured his arm on broken glass. His immediate reaction? Not pain, but a calculated attempt to wipe away his blood, to erase any trace of his DNA. That's the level of cunning we're talking about. The law, however, was closing in. After a high-speed chase, Tansey and his accomplice Rickton Henry managed to slip away, fleeing to the assumed safety of Spain. But their freedom was short-lived. They were apprehended at Malaga Airport and extradited back to face justice. In 2011, Lee Tansey was handed an 11-year prison sentence for his role in these chilling robberies. You might think that would be the end of it, a decade behind bars, time to reflect, to change. But for Lee Tansey, it was merely a pause. Incredibly, Tansey was released early from his sentence. And what did he do with this second chance? He squandered it. By 2016, he was back to his old ways, joining forces with new accomplices, Anthony Goff and Christopher Rubin, for another terrifying crime spree. Between July 2016 and January 2017, this trio embarked on 6 more armed robberies, hitting banks and jewelers across the north of England. Their methods had evolved. They were now masters of disguise, often posing as builders in high-visibility jackets, blending into the background before and after their raids. They used cloned registration plates, constantly switched getaway vehicles, and even set cars on fire to destroy evidence and throw police off their scent. Can you imagine the terror? Picture a jeweler's in Rawtenstall, 2 women going about their day, suddenly facing the barrel of a handgun and a sawn-off shotgun. The gang made off with over £200,000 in jewelry in that single brutal raid. These weren't just thefts, they were traumatic experiences that left lasting scars on their victims. The police, however, were relentless. They described Tansey and his crew as being fueled by greed and becoming arrogant in the fact they were never going to be caught. But every criminal has a slip-up, and theirs came in January 2017. They were caught red-handed, preparing for yet another robbery in New Mills, Derbyshire in March. 2018, the curtain fell on Lee Tansey's reign of terror. At 40 years old, alongside Goff and Rubin, he faced the music, admitting to the conspiracy, to the firearms that had terrorized so many. And the verdict? A staggering 21 years in prison for each of them. Lee Tansey's story is a chilling echo, a stark warning of a life utterly consumed by crime. A man who, given chance after chance, chose only to plunge deeper into the darkness. His legacy isn't one of daring heists, but of shattered lives, endless fear, and the cold, unyielding reality of a prison cell.